Hello and welcome to the German winter turn of 1942 of my playthrough of Downfall of the Third Reich by Do It Games. As you can see, the Germans perform the following actions: development, supplies, and of course they also get 3 supplies for Italy. A naval action, meaning they got a couple of submarines again, which they placed in the. I accidentally put them into the strategic bombing box, but they're supposed to go over here in the Battle of the Atlantic box. And a reinforcement action. Italy also got a reinforcement point because they're a minor power, and they actually had a. Well, they'd suffered some losses. I could have built a new unit in Rome, but I decided to upgrade the one that was here, and they attacked the British infantry that was here. Note that the Afrika Korps actually rolled a 1, but in Africa, the Afrika Korps, it has to be this particular tank unit, always upgrades a 1 or a 2 result to a 3. So they, even then, the result wasn't double, but the British unit was eliminated, and the German Afrika Korps tank unit was reduced. Note that only attacks in the Soviet Union suffer a -1 combat factor penalty and also cost 2 supplies, but not in the Mediterranean, and it specifically says the Soviet Union, so Karelia, as it belongs to Finland, is not in the Soviet Union, so that only costs them 2 supplies. This unit moved in. Finnish units cannot attack into Karelia if it's Soviet controlled, and they cannot support an attack either. They wouldn't have been able to do so here in the first place, obviously, because they don't have a surplus army there. But they did move in. That is allowed. And the German tank unit attacked the Soviet unit, and the result was a draw. So they each suffered a hit. The Finns also built a new unit. They may have been able to do so before that I simply forgot, but it's also a minor power, so they also get a free reinforcement step. Yugoslavia has also entered the war on the side of the Allies. They're not partisans, it's simply Yugoslavia. But they had an extra unit to be built, so they got a reinforcement step as well. Yeah, I think that about covers most of it. The development that was half developed now is logistics. So anytime you play a supply action, you actually get 7 supply units rather than the normal, 5, I believe. That's also the last development the Germans can develop before, I believe, 1943. Yeah, so that about covers it. The situation still doesn't look too fantastic, of course, for the Germans. It's not like they're under extreme pressure just yet, but, they haven't really made any inroads to speak of into the Soviet Union. But, of course, the Allies are in a bit of trouble in the south now. Because they only have a reduced infantry unit left. But of course, the United States have now also entered the fray and will also be able to help out. I'm not actually sure if you can actually, well, I suppose this is a British supply point, supply source. And I don't actually believe you can place any US units there. At least that doesn't make any sense, so I guess I'm just going to play it like that. But of course, the Allies do have more actions now because they have also just entered total war since it's the winter turn of 1942 now, and the United States is joining them. So let's see how that is going to change the game. Again, thank you for watching, and see you after the Allied turn.